Have you ever covered a carpet stain with a rug? Ignored a leaky faucet? Pretended your half-painted living room is supposed to look that way? Well, you're not alone. We've all got unfinished home projects. Whether it's a door that sticks, or a disorganized closet, or an AC unit that only works half the time. It all matters. You just haven't taken care of it yet. But there's an easier way. Just download the Thumbtack app. You can search for what you need done and find tons of highly rated pros right in your neighborhood. Check prices, reviews, and book a pro right on the spot. Plus, you'll know what to tackle next, because Thumbtack is the app that shows you what to do, who to hire, and when. Pull out your phone and in just a few taps, say goodbye to all those unfinished home projects and say hello to caring for your home the easier way. Download Thumbtack and start a project today.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
yes, goal,
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
Temp check. What kind of summer are we having this year? A family road trip summer? A beach bum summer? Or a wake me when the sun sets summer? With Instacart, choose your own adventure and skip the shopping side quests. Where available, you can get ice cream delivered to your hotel, sunscreen to the pool, or cold brew to your bed. Well, door. In as fast as 30 minutes. Wherever you find yourself this summer, you can get the goods. Download Instacart for free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum $10 per order. Excludes restaurants. Additional terms and fees apply.
Taylor Eldrige joins us from the Wichita Eagle. I'm not talking about you, Taylor. You can open your trap as much as you want.
I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. So let's catch up on Wichita State basketball. They've started some summer workouts. They've got a bunch of new guys, a couple of incoming freshmen, 3 players, I believe, from the transfer portal. Kind of just set us up. What's their roster look like at this point?
Yeah, so I guess the headlines would be, you got 5, key returners from last season. Quincy Ballard is back, Xavier Bell, Harlan Beverly, Bijan Cortez, and Ronnie DeGray. So that's kind of the core from last season. Then you have 2 guys at the end of the bench that are back as well, and then you're sprinkling in 2 incoming freshmen. And then, like you said, 3 transfers from the portal that all will probably have pretty big roles on this team, I would imagine. Justin Hill is a point guard from Georgia, SEC experience. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Alterique Gilbert that championship year. I think he's going to play a similar role for this team, just really taking care of the ball, make sure the offense gets a good shot. A.J. McGinnis, a shooting guard from Lipscomb. He's going to do a lot of similar things to Colby Rogers did last year, kind of that sharp shooter, 40% from 3, really good at the free throw line. And then you got Corey Washington, a 6'6" forward, very versatile from St. Peter's. Incredible story, but, yeah, he's just a high motor, kind of in the same ilk of, Monty Jackson, Rashard Kelly, somebody like that that's just going to really get after it on the glass. Probably has a little bit more of a scoring punch than Monty or Rashard did, though. I mean, he averaged double digits last year and is a foul magnet because he's the effort is just all over the place, and he gets so many offensive rebounds. So really good at the free throw line too. So you could tell, what Paul Mills valued, what he wanted to improve on going into year 2. It was taking care of the ball, limiting turnovers, and then getting better at the foul line, which WSU really struggled from. And, when you lose so many close games like the Shockers did last year, those are 2 easy areas to clean up. And that's what they're hoping to improve and turn around for next year.
So what's going on with the final scholarship? I know they hosted the kid, I believe, from Arizona State. Is it Meeks?
Yeah, Zane Meeks. Yeah, he's a
sorry, I was just going to ask you: is that still the goal to get a big man, or are we so late in the portal now that it's maybe best player available?
Yeah, they're kind of keeping mum on that. They've hinted that they're close to signing someone. it will be a big. I don't know if it will be Zane Meeks, but I think they're going to get a little creative here. With the NIL in today's era, you can walk-ons can make NIL. So that's a way kind of around the 13 scholarship limit. You can bring someone in to walk in or walk on and kind of supplement them with NIL cash. That could be in the works. I don't have any names, anything like that, but I'm told that they are bringing in 2 big bodies. So I think that's the expectation. I don't know if it will get done this week. I know there's a lot of paperwork involved, so they're kind of keeping mum on this until everything, all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted. They want to make sure everything is 100% before, anything gets out. So I do think that they will add at least 1 big, and then from what I'm hearing, maybe a second walk-on too.
Taylor Eldrige, our guest, Wichita State beat writer for the Wichita Eagle, Kansas.com. John Rothstein broke a little news about a tournament in Orlando coming up in November, and you followed that up by breaking some news of your own that Wichita State is indeed looks to be the 4th team in that round-robin bracket. Tell us a little bit about that field, because that's some highly intriguing early-season test-worthy games.
Yeah, it's been kind of crazy. A lot of college basketball, I feel like a lot. You can describe a lot of what's happening in college basketball as crazy right now. But in this case, those early season tournaments have really started to shapeshift, and they're changing. Traditionally, like when I got the contract for this event, it looked like the same old. It's an 8-team field. What was called the ESPN Events Invitational. It's traditionally a really strong tournament. Featured prominently on ESPN. 8 teams go down, really, usually a really good field. You play 3 games and call it good. And now it has shifted. And, John Rothstein kind of broke that they're shifting to 2 4-team pods. And basically when I followed up on that, I was being told that, the power conference teams are kind of going one way, and then they're kind of shoving the other guys to the side. So when John initially reported that, Florida, Minnesota, Wake Forest, were all going in their own pod, and then they didn't know about that 4th team, it kind of suggested that Wichita State might be left out on the cold. And then, follow up, like a week or 2 later, and Wichita State got an assurance from ESPN from who I talked to, and they will be that 4th team. And then John reported that, a day after I did. So it seems to be that's what it's shaping up to be. So that's a big get for WSU. You want those high-profile marquee early season games, and I don't know if Wichita State will be chasing an at-large bid this season, but those are the kind of games that really help you build an at-large profile, and at the very least, it's going to where they are pretty early in the season, because Wake Forest and Florida, those are borderline top 25 teams already, and then Minnesota is obviously a power conference team as well, so. I think Wichita State will be an underdog in both games going into that, but so they're going to be able to go in and kind of play relaxed, and whatever comes out of it, I think it's going to benefit the team early in the year.
So Taylor, the fact that they're now pushing mid-majors or whatever you want to call them out of these early season tournaments, they're trying not to get maybe matchups with Power 5. We know the Power 5 is trying to separate itself from every other college sports program. So how drastic will that shift be, even as Wichita State is concerned? Will it be just impossible to schedule games that really matter?
I think it's going to be tougher for teams in like the lower conferences. American is still regarded kind of like that on the cusp of being a major player in college basketball. So I don't think it's going to hit Wichita State too hard. They still have some name brand recognition, the tradition, obviously. So I think Wichita State should still be able to schedule aggressively. They have that series they just scheduled with DePaul. I think, more regional opponents like that. We've seen them play Missouri, Oklahoma State, Baylor in recent seasons. So it'll be interesting to see if those Big 12 teams will still want to play, but I think they can still go around and find other power conference teams in the region. So I think Wichita State should be fine, but who knows at this point? It's kind of up in the air, and things are changing so dramatically. It's tough to tell, but I think just from talking to guys on the staff, I think they're pretty confident that they're still going to be able to schedule aggressively when they need to.
Taylor Eldrige, our guest. Speaking of that, we know K-State's coming to Koch Arena. Has there been any word on whether that series will continue after this one? And have you heard any ramblings or rumblings about who Wichita State might be pursuing to play? And I specifically will ask you about the Intrust Bank Arena game. Is that still a deal?
Yeah, so start in order. Let's do K-State. Yeah, that's haven't heard anything beyond this season. You always hear about like those coaches who are friends. They don't like playing each other. I don't know if that's the case with Mills and Tang. I know they're still very close, and I know they hate losing to one another. So far Tang is up in that series. So I don't know if that series will continue. We're actually talking to Paul Mills tomorrow morning, so that would be a good question for then. So we can maybe find that out tomorrow. Future opponents, no real rumblings. I did an open records request like a couple of weeks ago, maybe two weeks ago, just to make sure nothing had been signed, and it came back empty. All the games that I already knew about are the only ones they sent back. So I am curious to see, how they fill out this non-conference schedule, because you have the road trip to DePaul, the road trip to Western Kentucky, and then the K-State home game, then obviously the two in Orlando that will be top-notch too. Do they add another competitive game, or are they just kind of fill this out with bye games? That remains to be seen. Hopefully, Mills has hinted that they're closing in on that schedule being finalized. So I might put in another request here pretty soon to see if we can figure some more of that stuff out. But no rumblings from what I've heard. And I guess the one rumbling is that, Intrust Bank Arena game, from what I'm being told, that might not happen this year. They might be looking at playing a game again in Kansas City instead of Intrust Bank Arena. I think they've played that game, 13, 14 straight years. But again, that's, not finalized. I haven't reported that. That's just what I've been kind of hearing, is that it's trending that way, though.
The columnist in me just got fired up, but we'll deal with that later. Go ahead.
Just what have you seen as far as activity around the American? I know Memphis, they end up losing David Jones to the draft, but add a lot in the portal. I think Charlotte lost one of its best players. North Texas, a Rice guy went to KU to be a walk-on. So is anyone improving besides Memphis?
Yeah, UAB is probably going to be the preseason favorite. At least from where I'm sitting, they are bringing basically everyone back from that NCAA tournament. They bring back Yaxel, who was the defensive player of the year, probably going to be the player of the year preseason. And they've added a lot of good talent, the JUCO and transfer portal. So I think UAB is going to be that preseason favorite. Memphis, obviously, same thing. Every year, the total recycle, but they have a ton of talent. Once again, I think they might have too many mouths to feed. We'll have to see how that plays out. But I would bet that they're 1-2. And after that, it's completely wide open. Like you said, a lot of teams are in complete rebuild mode. I just put out a story today about, Wichita State. They're only bringing back 51% of scoring from last season, and that's number 2 in the conference. Everybody else has lost more than half of their scoring from last season. A lot of those teams have been decimated. FAU is kind of in total rebuild with a new coach. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out after those top 2. And, the door is open for Wichita State. They feel good about that retention, about that continuity that they have on their roster. Then you have the right pieces. I think Justin Hill is going to really, really help this team. And if he can deliver that poised play at point guard, then I think the Shockers, I think they could be eyeing, a top 3 finish if everything breaks their way. But, obviously when you finish 5-13 last season, you got a ways to go before you're, you prove yourself ready for those talks. But, just looking around the conference, it's completely wide open after those first 2 slots.
Taylor Eldrige with us. Final question for you. I want to ask you about baseball because we all feel like Brian Green had that team on a pretty good trajectory, but it's so hard to keep track of trajectories in this day and age. And we find out shortly after the season ends that several of those players hit the transfer portal, including Tommy Lepore, who probably was slated to be their number one pitcher next year. How do you keep the excitement? It seems difficult.
Yeah, that one was definitely a gut punch for the Shockers because, Tommy Lepore, just from the outside looking in, it was just so bought into that culture that Brian Green was trying to set. You talk to anybody on that team, and Tommy was the dugout guy, the rah-rah leader. When he wasn't pitching, he was the one in the dugout just leading, just that energy. And, he was one of the leaders, already as a freshman. And obviously he was getting the job done on the mound, too. So, yeah, he's a very highly, thought of player. So, they felt really good about their exit meeting, and they thought they were going to be able to retain just about all their young stars. But then, it's no secret that, teams reach out before, players even enter the transfer portal. I don't think that's a secret in any of these sports. And, I think it's easy to say that you want to come back, and then you start hearing the NIL possibilities, floated to you through your agent, other middlemen, and really tough to stay when you're hearing the, numbers as big as that. So, yeah, Tommy Lepore, that one definitely hurt Wichita State. But, you look at it, and, they have retained all the hitting core. No big names have entered for hitting. Losing Ryan Garrity was kind of tough. He was a really highly rated recruit, but never really translated. So, as it stands right now, they're still in a good position. But, that's just, we're on day 3 of the transfer portal. This thing goes the whole month. So, it's going to be a tense month in Wichita. But, they still have a lot of really good young players, a good young core. I think that, fans should still be excited about. But a big part of this is going to be finding arms, because like you said, Tommy was going to be the number one. They graduated Caden Favors. Nate Adler's gone now. So, they're going to have to find arms to be able to take that next step and really compete for an entire season.
All right, Taylor, I think we're caught up. Pretty good report from you today. We appreciate it. We'll talk with you soon, okay?
Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
yes, goal,
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
Everybody knows it. Toyota trucks are the stuff of legends. Rugged, durable, everlasting. Toyota makes trucks that just don't quit. And now Toyota is driving that legacy toward the future with 2 of their most powerful trucks ever, the new Tundra and the all-new Tacoma. In a half-ton Tundra, you can rule the roads. From the comfort of a spacious cabin with connected tech and plenty of hauling power, the Tundra is ready to work hard and play even harder. Or check out the all-new 24 Tacoma, redesigned and electrified to maximize your adventure. With a bevy of available off-road driving and power transfer modes, you will effortlessly crush the conditions. And with the Tacoma's reimagined interior, you'll do it in style. And right now, your local Toyota dealer has more vehicles in stock and is making delivery on new vehicles almost every day. So don't wait. Buy a Tundra or Tacoma today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
We really need new phones.
T-Mobile will cover the cost of 4 amazing new iPhone 15s, and each line is only $25 a month.
New iPhone 15s?
It's better over here. Only at T-Mobile, get 4 iPhone 15s on us and 4 lines for $25 per line per month with eligible trade-in when you switch.
Minimum of 4 lines for $25 per line per month with autopay discount using debit or bank account. $5 more per line without autopay, plus taxes and fees. Phone fee at 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers. Contact us before canceling account to continue bill credits or credit stop and balance on required finance agreement due. $35 per line connection charge applies. See T-Mobile.com.